Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the SmackDown review for the 6th of November 2020. Man, wow. It's amazing to me that they can do some things so well. I actually think if you're into women's wrestling, this is a show you need to go out of your way to see for one thing, and that's the Sasha Bayley match that opens the show. They are given nearly 30 minutes when I looked at my clock, with commercials, of course. But that was amazing, and then they go back to complete and utter garbage. It's amazing to me that the same company on the same program can be so high and so low. It really makes me wonder about whether they really care about putting together regular shows or whether it just is, well, these good people we can put out here to fill this hole, and then we need to fill another 40 minutes of television time. So let's just throw random people out there that we want people to care about, but we're not sure that they do. That's what this show makes me feel like most of the time. I feel that way with Raw. I'm starting to feel that way with NXT. And brand wise, WWE, having been back to watching for probably about 15, 16 months on a weekly basis right now, I've never been lower on WWE storytelling than I am now as a regular viewer. A couple of years I stopped watching completely, but as a regular viewer, I've never been lower. But I also don't think they've ever had as much talent as they do right now, which is an interesting conundrum. But anyway, editorialization out of the way. SmackDown opens with Sasha versus Bayley. Um, they do a long recap segment of the feud, which, if you're watching the show, you probably know most of the feud, so again, they're wasting time. Kayla Braxton interviews Bayley in the back before she makes her entrance. She points out that she signed a contract under duress, and she did special ring introductions. Banks and Bayley do have a really good match here. Banks backed Bayley into the corner. Bayley gets an advantage, uses arm drags, and uses the top rope for leverage. They fight over backslide, and Banks goes for the bank statement. Bayley gets out of that. We go to the bank break. We come back. Banks slides under the ropes, and Bayley gets sent face first into the apron. Double knees to the face for near fall by Banks. Banks hits double knees on the apron again against the post. Banks tries a second time and gets dropped on the floor by Bayley. Bayley takes over, uses a slingshot under the bottom rope for near fall. Obviously, Bayley slows things down now. Banks fights back, hits the double knees in the corner. This is like the third or fourth time double knees have been used. I think it's an overused spot at this point. Near fall on that. Bayley recovers, hits a clothesline for another near fall. Banks recovers, hits a meteor off the middle turnbuckle. Bayley rolls to the floor, and Banks hits a crossbody to the outside. We go to a second break. Bayley and Banks fight in the ring, in and around the ring post. Banks slips out of a powerbomb attempt on the floor. Bayley counters with a Rana into the announce table. I wish they weren't using the announce table this early. Banks makes a comeback, hits the running knees in the corner. This is the fifth or sixth time they've used knees throughout. Hits some elbows on Bayley on the apron. Banks follows up with a frog splash for a near fall. Banks hits a backstabber. Bayley rolls through it. Attempts the Bayley to belly, and Banks slips out. Bayley then slips out of a bank statement attempt. Bayley tries to bring a kendo stick in. Ref's distracted. Ref gets rid of the kendo stick. And then Bayley does hit the Bayley to belly after they fight over a steel chair, which also isn't used. Bayley to belly for near fall. Bayley hits an elbow off the top for another near fall. Uh, Bayley then locks a bank statement of her own. Banks makes it to the ropes. Um, and basically, they do a ring post spot. Banks locks on the bank statement for the win. Post match, Banks poses with the title belt. Carmella makes her way out, nails Banks with a super kick, and then an X Factor finish. Man, poor Sasha Banks. You go from working with Bayley to Carmella. That's like ice cream to horse manure. I mean, nothing against Carmella, but in the ring, she's not at Bayley's level by far unless she's really come up quite a bit. Jey Uso's getting a coffee. Kevin Owens approached, asked if they can talk. He jokes about the last few weeks being tough, and then jokes about Paul Heyman should be getting Roman Reigns coffee, not Jey Uso. Uso's not happy with this. Uso insinuates that Owens thinks his family is a joke. Owens doesn't think that. He just wanted to talk to Uso since Survivor Series has been rough for him in the past, and he's on the SmackDown team. Michael Cole and Corey Graves, talk about the Undertaker's final appearance being at Survivor Series 30 years later. Caleb Braxton interviews Jey Uso backstage. They recapped the angle between him and Roman Reigns. Uso attacking Daniel Bryan after the match is also managed. Paul Heyman approaches, and he's angry because Reigns didn't approve this interview. Heyman informs Uso that Reigns needs to talk to him, and Uso didn't like the comment made that Heyman has a better spot in the family. Rey Mysterio is on the phone trying to get a hold of his daughter, and why he would do this with a TV camera in his face, I don't know. Dominic runs in, says he has a match next, and Rey doesn't care. He's still trying to get a hold of his daughter. He asks Dominic if Dominic has heard from her. Rey isn't ready for his match. Dominic leaves to get Rey's gear. King Corbin jumps Rey and beats him down until Dominic runs back in. Paul Heyman and Jey Uso are talking in front of Roman Reigns' locker room. Heyman explained Uso needs Reigns' permission to do interviews. Uso didn't understand why. Heyman goes in, gets Reigns. Reigns is furious for agreeing to the interview and explained he couldn't do that anymore. He's also upset with the interaction with Kevin Owens. Uso said Owens was joking around. Reigns didn't care. Reigns is also upset with Heyman for not knowing about this. He told Heyman that's his job. Reigns doesn't have to take care of everything and shouldn't have to take care of things like this. And Heyman is told to go find Adam Pearce. Not a fan of this segment. I mean, number one, it's clunky and long. Number two, Uso's already teasing that he's not happy being with Reigns. They should have held that off until you're ready to pull the trigger on them matching up again. As far as the Rey Mysterio and Aaliyah stuff, I get it. But King Corbin? Seriously? Seriously. This is who we want to put on the SmackDown team. Tell me the last time that he's been over with the crowd that's done anything or had matches where he wasn't carried to good matches in years, to the point where he should be on the SmackDown team, which is where they end up going with it, because next up is a Survivor Series qualifying match. Corbin defeats Mysterio. Corbin dominates the match. It's slow and plodding. Cole and Graves talk about the Mysterio family issues and Aaliyah's relationship with Murphy. Rey comes to the ring limping. He competes in not his gear. Corbin attacks Mysterio at the bell. Hits a spinebuster for a near fall. Corbin dominates the match. Mysterio makes a comeback. Gets a roll up. go to the break, come back from it. Mysterio hits a splash from the apron. Corbin shoves down Mysterio. Mysterio fights back with kicks. Mysterio attempts a springboard. Corbin caught him with a backbreaker and near fall. Mysterio attempts a crossbody. Corbin catches him with the world's strongest slam for near fall. Corbin dominates the match even further. Mysterio makes a second comeback, and the pace picks up a bit. He gets a close near fall, avoids the end of days, goes for the 619. Corbin rolls out of the ring. Corbin attacks Dominic Mysterio, and Ray hits a drop kick. Mysterio sends Corbin back in the ring and hits a 619. Rollins attacks Dominic at ringside. And Ray leaves to make a save for his son. Murphy and Aaliyah then make their way to ringside. Mysterio told them to leave and go to the back. Mysterio goes back to the ring and walked into the end of days from Corbin for the win. No. Don't do this ever. Corbin joins the men's SmackDown team, which makes Rollins happy. They announce Uso and Owens later tonight. Then another match we can throw away. Survivor Series qualifying match, this time for the women's team. Ruby Riott defeats Zelina Vega and Natalya. Match feels like a cluster rush. Natalya basically gets a surfboard on Riott. Vega breaks that up. Natalya attempts a sharpshooter. Vega breaks that up too. She hits a Huracan Rana on Riott. Natalya and Vega go back and forth a little bit. Natalya locks a sharpshooter on Vega. Natalya drags her back into the middle of the ring. Riott jumps on and applies an armbar on Vega. Natalya let the sharpshooter go, and Vega tapped out to Riott's armbar. Riott joins the women's team. It's just lame duck. Number one, why is it a three-way? Number two, what's the issue between these women that get us here? Number three, why, just why? In the back, Big E's playing what looked like Trivial Pursuit. Street Profits approached. They claim they took over the VIP lounge and asked Big E to hang out. Big E figured they want inside info on the New Day. Big E jokes that New Day's going to beat them. Billie Kay shows up laughing. She tells the Street Profits she came from Raw and can give them an inside scoop. And then, well, that just falls flat. Seth Rollins defeats Otis in a Survivor Series qualifying match. They do more recap, wasting time, this time of the Aaliyah and Murphy storyline. Rollins has an early advantage. Otis uses power. Otis gets a slam. Murphy shows up, walks to ringside. Otis is in control. Murphy stares at Rollins, and that gives Otis a bit of an advantage. Otis looks at Murphy at ringside as if he might want to do something, but doesn't. Otis fires up. He knocks Rollins off and slams him into the mat. Otis hits a fallaway slam and a splash in the corner. Otis sets up the caterpillar. Murphy jumps on the apron. Otis goes after Murphy because Otis has the brain of a dehydrated BB. Thank you, Captain Lou. And this causes a distraction. Rollins then hits curve stomp for the win. And Rollins is on the SmackDown team. Rollins goes up to Murphy in the back. Rollins is happy and wanted to know if Murphy is back with him. Murphy calls Rollins the Messiah and himself the disciple. Rollins is happy. And Murphy saw the light. Rollins left and Aaliyah ran in. Aaliyah is furious at Murphy for helping Rollins. She pushed him and she says that he needs to trust her. Murphy is doing this for the greater good. Don't know where this is going, but it could get interesting. Michael Cole interviews Lars Sullivan. Sullivan talks about hating bullies. He used to be bullied. Sullivan started weight training at 13, and he bullied the bullies and the kids that didn't stand up for him. Sullivan learned that he could bully whoever he wants. He can do, be, and eat whatever and whoever he wants. Sullivan could make kids eat dirt, glass, and bugs. So basically, he became a bully and a psycho. Jey Uso defeats Kevin Owens in what is your main event. They work hard in the match. I can't fault them. Caleb Braxton interviews Owens before he enters. Owens knows that his mind is very open and that he often speaks it. This isn't a good thing. He says things got out of hand with Jey, and he noticed that they're teammates at Survivor Series. Owens is upset with Roman Reigns and what he forced Jey to do. Owens is also not happy with what happened to Daniel Bryan last week. Owens has the advantage, near fall with a senton. Uso tries a suicide dive. Owens cuts him off. Roman Reigns is in the back, and they're watching the match. Reigns didn't like what he's seeing. Sends Heyman out to ringside. I wonder if Heyman ever gets tired of being the gopher in this story. Anyway, Uso is in control, and he's kicking Owens in the corner. Owens climbs back, gets the top turnbuckle. Heyman comes out. That distracts Owens. Uso hits Owens with a kick. Follows up with a dive. That's like the third one of the show. Unnecessary. Uso continues to beat down Owens. Slows the pace down with a chinlock. Owens breaks free. Gets a super kick of his own. Uso misses a splash in the corner. Owens hits a second super kick. And then there's a cannonball in the corner and a swanton for a near fall. Owens goes for the pop-up powerbomb. Uso counters with a super kick for a near fall of his own. Uso climbs to the top. Owens cut him off. Owens fights back, hits a pop-up powerbomb, but Jey Uso has his feet on the rope. Reigns music hits, which distracts Owen. Uso uses a low blow and a super kick to get the win. And after the match, Reigns and Uso pose and basically make fun of Kevin Owens. This is fine, but again, there's nothing in here that, well, let's put it this way. If you look at the main event and you look at the opening match and you throw away the rest of the show, you can probably get through this in, I would say 30 minutes of watch time. And you saw everything that needs to be seen on this program. If you're going to sit down and watch the whole thing, you don't love yourself. Like, there's just no way. Anyway, we'll be back with a full gear review. Till next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment.